The story opens up with a beautiful young woman named Zhao running away from some thugs in the street. Moments later, she notices a large building and sneaks inside. Elsewhere, we see a rich businessman named Chen relaxing by the pool. As he is lost in his thoughts, he recalls his father telling him about his late brother's son. The little boy lives with an unknown woman for some reason. Determined, Chen assures his father that he will find his nephew and bring him back home. Following this, Chen returns to his room, where he unexpectedly sees Zhao. Startled, he asks her who she is and what she's doing there. Zhao doesn't know what to say, so she lies and says that she works as a cleaner there. Chen unexpectedly doesn't believe her and proceeds to call security, but she covers his mouth. In the ensuing struggle, they end up falling on the sofa. Just then, the three thugs also arrive and try to take Zhao with them. However, Chen ends up beating all of them up. Following the encounter, he gets dressed and leaves the house to look for his nephew. Zhao then clarifies to the thugs that she has no relationship with that man, so she cannot pay for their injuries. This puzzles the thugs, but before they can say anything, she leaves. Meanwhile, we see a little boy named Wu who is stopping his landlord from entering the house. Turns out he lives there with Zhao, who runs a martial arts school. But since she hasn't paid her rent in 6 months, their landlord is trying to evict them. Just then, Chen arrives and we find out that his nephew is none other than Wu. He threatens the landlord that if he touches the child, he will deeply regret it. The landlord asks who he is, but before Chen can respond, Wu says that he is his disciple, and that together, they will save the martial arts school. Following this, Chen picks up his nephew and prepares to leave. He also orders his assistant to buy the house. As they're leaving, Zhao suddenly shows up, and Wu addresses her as his mother. Both Zhao and Chen are taken aback when they see each other. She shouts at him for putting her in more trouble by beating those guys, as she is now liable for their injuries. In response, Chen angrily says that he was only trying to help her. Zhao then tries to take the child, but Chen grabs him and refuses to hand over his nephew. Suddenly, the assistant arrives and Zhao learns that the house has been sold to Chen. This means that he is her new landlord. Chen then takes his nephew and enters the house, while Zhao is still in shock. Elsewhere, we see Chen's father on the phone with someone. He suggests that everything should proceed according to plan, and they should not let Chen know about it. In the next scene, Chen hands Zhao the rental agreement documents, and informs her that if she wants to live there, she must pay 1 year's rent in advance. Since our girl can't afford to pay such money, she tries to charm him, but he doesn't listen to her. Chen asserts that she's an unfit parent, but if she gives up custody of Wu, he will give her the house. Hearing this, Zhao angrily declines his offer, stating that she will leave the house with Wu in that case. The next morning, we see Zhao teaching martial arts to her student. She appears to be quite good at it. After the class, Chen shows up and says that he will be living in the house from now on. Zhao is annoyed by this, so she tells him that if he wants to live there, he must train in martial arts with her. At first, Chen refuses, but when she mocks him in front of Wu, he eventually agrees. After this, she puts him through rigorous physical training and other exercises. The following morning, Zhao wakes up and panics when she doesn't find Wu around. She searches for him around the house, and soon discovers him in Chen's room. When asked what he's doing there, Wu explains that he went for a bath with his uncle. She tries to take him from there, but Chen stops her. During their argument, Wu gets knocked over into the bath. Later, as the boy gets ready for school, another argument ensues over who will drop him off. They decide to play rock paper scissors, and Chen ends up winning. But despite this, Zhao carries him and takes him to school. After a while, Zhao is at her job where she dresses in a costume and distributes pamphlets. During this, her mind can only think of Wu. She fears that Chen will spend the entire day with him, and eventually win him over. Hence, she rushes back home, and begins bothering Chen again. With an evil grin on her face, Zhao tells him that she will make him do a lot of training again today. But just then, her boss calls and asks her to come to work again. As a result, she quickly rushes to work, which makes Chen happy. That evening, Zhao arrives home very late, and is drenched from the rain. Wu is happy to see her after a long day, and she promises to make his favorite dishes. Later on, the three of them eat dinner together, and Zhao becomes quite drunk. Seeing her state, Chen mentions that she doesn't have to work so hard, and that she should give up on Wu. Hearing this, Zhao gets very angry. In a loud voice, she mentions that she raised Wu since he was a baby and taught him to fight. Now, Chen just can't show up and whisk him away like that. Here, it's revealed that Wu's biological mother disappeared mysteriously several years ago. She is none other than Zhao's sister. After a minor argument, Zhao falls asleep, so Chen carries her to the bed. He then goes to the living room and begins drying her costume. Soon, he dozes off as well and ends up sleeping the whole night on the chair. In the morning, Zhao arrives to find him with her costume. She gazes at him for a moment and realizes that he's quite attractive. However, she quickly snaps out of her daydream and hurriedly heads to work. That afternoon, one of Zhao's friends, Dong, arrives at the house. He's surprised to see Chen there, and it turns out they know each other. Another problem arises when they realize they're wearing the same shirt from the same brand. Annoyed by this, they quickly call their assistants and scold them, demanding only one single piece limited editions from now on. Later, Dong takes out the food he bought for Zhao and Wu, but Chen claims that they don't eat those things. Hearing this, Dong gets angry and the two men begin arguing. Sometime later, Zhao and Wu return home and find them fighting for a chair. Zhang asks how they know each other, to which Dong replies that he's simply one of his business acquaintances and nothing more. He then tells her that he has recently returned from a business trip and has brought food for her and Wu. Sometime later, Dong asks Zhao if Chen is bothering her, but she reassures him that everything is fine. Nevertheless, he mentions that if she ever has any issues, she can move to his place. He wants her to be totally safe and free of any problems. However, Zhao refuses, claiming that this house is very special for her. Dong says that he can buy the house for her, but just then Chen arrives and says he can't afford it. This statement annoys Dong, so he asks Zhao if they can go for a walk outside. The latter doesn't think much of it and agrees without hesitation. After a while, Chen becomes irritated when the two don't return home. Moments later, he notices Wu picking up empty bottles and cans on the street. He gets angry, thinking that Zhao may have ordered him to do this, so he takes a picture and tells Wu that he won't have to do such things anymore. A while later, Zhao finally returns home, and Chen confronts her angrily. He accuses her of being so busy with Dong that she forgot she had a child to care for. Chen then shows her a picture of Wu picking up trash, and blames her for making him do such work. He angrily says that he will take Wu away from her, but Zhao boldly says that she won't let that happen. During their argument, Zhao receives a call from Wu's teacher asking for an urgent meeting. This sends her cute couple into a state of panic, as they believe that Wu has done something wrong. But upon reaching the school, the teacher explains that the little boy had to collect garbage bottles from the street as part of an extracurricular activity. However, he was unable to collect enough bottles, causing his team to lose. Chen is shocked upon hearing this, while Zhao becomes even angrier with him. Later that evening, he tries to apologize to her, but she adamantly refuses to listen. She says that she doesn't need his guidance in taking care of a child, as she has been raising Wu on her own until now. After that, she walks away, while Chen feels regret for his actions. The next day, Zhao is approached by someone dressed in her costume, who apologizes and offers her flowers. She believes it's Chen apologizing and gets happy. However, she soon finds out that it's his assistant and gets angry again. Later, Chen seeks advice from Wu on how to apologize and make Zhao happy. The little boy tells him that she enjoys surprises, and asks him to plan something special for her. Following this suggestion, Chen sets up a candlelight dinner for them that evening. When Zhao arrives, he gets closer to her and apologizes. However, she gets very nervous and says she forgives him before running away. Chen is taken aback by how easy it was, while Zhao blushes on the other side. The next evening during dinner, Wu suggests to Chen that he should marry Zhao and become his father. Hearing this, both of them get very awkward. Just then, Dong arrives at the house explaining that his sister and her boyfriend are at his place, so he needs a place to stay for the night. Chen refuses to let him stay, but Zhao argues with him and eventually convinces him. Later on, Dong arrives to sleep in Chen's room, where they begin arguing again. Dong asks if he likes Zhao, but Chen denies it. Hearing this, Dong reveals that he likes her and is planning to propose soon. Hearing this, our hero is obviously upset, but he doesn't show it on his face. Days later, Wu mentions that his teacher has asked for a family photo shoot with his parents. So, the three spend the day together hanging out and taking numerous photos. Later, Chen is pleased with the pictures and keeps one for himself. However, Zhao grabs the picture from him and claims that Wu lied about the family photo shoot to bring them closer. After this, she suggests playing rock paper scissors, with the winner having the privilege to make a wish. When Zhao wins, she takes the opportunity to confess her feelings to Chen and kisses him abruptly. This takes our hero by surprise, but he quickly regains his composure and kisses her back. Just then, Dong notices them from a distance and is heartbroken. Later, both Zhao and Chen continue to think about their kiss and are very happy. Elsewhere, Chen's father receives word of this and becomes enraged. Moments later, Chen receives a call from his assistant informing him that his father has suffered a heart attack and is in the hospital. Worried, Chen immediately rushes to see his father. The next day, Zhao can't find Chen, and he isn't answering his calls because he left his phone at home. This makes her increasingly worried. Soon night falls and he still doesn't come back home. The next day, Dong arrives at the house and tells her that someone has picked up Wu from school. Zhao also learns from the news that Chen's father is sick, so she assumes he picked up Wu. In the next scene, Chen's father is overjoyed to see his grandson and asks him to stay forever. However, when the little boy mentions Zhao, Grandpa becomes angry and scolds him. Just then, Chen's assistant informs him that Zhao has arrived to see him. Chen goes to see her and Zhao tells him that she wants to take Wu home. Chen apologizes and asks if he can keep him for a few days. However, Zhao doesn't trust him and believes that he deliberately got close to her to take Wu away. Later, as a distraught Zhao sits alone, Dong arrives to see her. He hugs her and assures her that he will do everything to help her. Meanwhile, we find out that Chen's father faked his heart attack to bring Wu home. This is not because he loves his grandson, but to get his 20% share of the company, which was left to Wu by his father. We also find out that both of the boys' parents are deceased, and they have placed custody in Zhao's name. The following day, a lawyer arrives at Zhao's house and requests her to transfer custody of Wu to his grandfather. She adamantly refuses, but the lawyer advises her to give up. He threatens that if they take this matter to court, they will win because she is not financially stable and doesn't even have a house. Just then, Dong arrives and overhears their conversation. He decides to propose to Zhao, thinking that if they marry, she will be financially well off and can retain custody of Wu. Later on, Chen discovers that his father is only interested in the 20% of his firm and doesn't care about his grandson. He also learns that his father sent a lawyer to threaten Zhao. Worried, he confronts his father and begs him to stop this, but the old man refuses to listen. Later, Dong arrives at Zhao's place, ready to propose to her. However, Chen arrives just in time and spots this. He hugs Zhao and promises her that he will bring Wu back at any cost. In the next scene, Chen's grandfather arranges a press conference to introduce his grandson. The journalists ask if he will handle Wu's 20% share. But suddenly, Zhao intervenes and says that since she's Wu's legal guardian, she entrusted his share to his uncle, Chen. This angers Chen's father greatly, but he realizes there's nothing he can do at this point and gives up. In the final scene, Chen approaches Zhao and apologizes for everything. He then gets down on his knees and proposes marriage. Zhao accepts and the story concludes with the three of them living happily together as a family. Thanks for watching this recap. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next movie recaps. Stay tuned for more exciting recaps.